Alright, what's up guys? Charles from treetanks-dev. This right now I'm filming on is a medium format camera which was launched in 2019 February. This is the Fujifilm GFX 50R medium format camera, 51.4 megapixels. So this is meant for solely photography, because in terms of video specs, they only can go up to 1080p 30 frames per second. So it's really hot right now. The purpose of this video in this really nice, wonderful Salida Aerospace Park will be just the autofocus test, and we'll just go around, take some photographs. So how's the autofocusing for a medium format camera? I guess it will be a very nice depth of field. Just concentrating more on the AF, whether it's a fast AF. I know it's not really for videos, but we still need to test whether the AF is accurate or not. Aeroplane's taking off. So we're just beside the aeroplane location here. So how is the AF? Is it any good? Is it fast? So just testing it out again. How's the autofocus? Is it quick? Is it even autofocusing? I can see a really nice depth of field. It looks brilliant. I'm in auto mode. I rented this camera for a week just to test out, because I've never used a medium format camera before. But the autofocusing seems a little bit slow. It seems to be breathing a lot.
Let's go to the
Okay, I think it's in focus right now. Is it in focus? Okay, so that was the autofocus. That's just a quick one, because it's not really a quick autofocus, so that's why I'm moving front and back really slowly, just for it to catch up. Okay, so let's take a look at 4 physical aspects of this camera that I don't like. Physical aspect we're talking about. This is a side-by-side comparison with a Fujifilm X-E7, also a 2019 camera, but this came out at the end of the year. Look at the difference in size. This is an entry-level vlogging camera, which is so small. Just show you the physical aspects just for fun. The LCD screen on this is ridiculous. No other camera has a bigger LCD screen than that, so that's pretty cool. And this is so big, but look at the buttons on this camera and the amount of space that is left blank. And look at this. This I can understand why they use such small buttons, and especially that, that small nipple joystick that they have right over here, because this camera is so small. So I always thought they deliberately put this mini joystick, a 1mm joystick, on this X-A7 because there is a lack of space, but no. It seems that they use this regardless of the amount of space that they have on the camera. So this is exactly the same size as the one in the Fujifilm X-A7. So the buttons are really small and that joystick is extremely small. This comes to the second part of the issue. There is no grip on this camera. Look at how small that grip is for such a big and heavy camera. There is hardly any grip. So you have to use 2 hands in order to try to navigate whatever buttons that you have here, especially if you want to navigate that joystick. You can't do that because there's no grip. It's impossible to use 1 hand on this camera, so you need to use 2 hands. If there was a bigger grip, you probably could have, navigate the buttons. Yeah, it's basically a 2-handed or a tripod camera. And the third issue that I have is, like I said, there's so much space on the camera, but they still decide to use a 2.5mm head jack, which is weird as hell. Same thing as the X-A7. It's only a 1mm difference. It's not like it takes up a lot of space or something. 2.5mm head jack. Why do they do that? It's so strange, especially on this camera, which you have tons of space. And then the last issue that I have basically with this camera is the location of the USB port. It's great that they use a USB Type-C port, but it is on the bottom of the camera. So if you plug in the cable, you can't set it down flat. You either have to put it this way or on his head. So what a bad location for the USB-C port, or basically the port itself. This is a lot better. The port is on the side, so you can easily plug it in and lay it down on the table. So basically those are the 4 issues that I have with the physical design of this camera. Now the things that I do like about this camera is the weight of it. It feels really nice weighted, really evenly distributed, especially if you're using this lens, the 45mm f2.8 lens. You feel like a champion using this. It's really, really nice weighted. It's so big. You know, you walk outside and people see that medium giant format camera that you have. Looks absolutely great. I also like that rangefinder style EVF. The EVF is really, really good. It's really sharp. One of the best EVFs that I've ever used. It's so big, very, very nice and clear. I also like the LCD screen behind. It is a flip out screen like this. You know, I wish it was an articulating screen, of course, but this will do. It's a really nice big screen to have, and quite high resolution as well, so no issues with the EVF and the LCD screen. And that battery life on this camera, because it's such a huge camera, is really, really nice. So this is a 1230 milliamp battery. It may not sound like a lot, but it does give pretty good battery life on this giant camera, which supposedly uses a lot of resources. But one thing really strange I want to point out is, of course I know that this is a photography camera. They do have 1080p 30 frames maximum video on this camera, but it's really strange that they didn't include a dedicated switch for video. Like, you know, this Fujifilm X-A7, they do have a dedicated switch for video mode, like these 2 buttons. One is for the camera photographs and one is for video. This doesn't have that dedicated button. And in order to get to video mode, you need to click the drive button over here. You hit drive, which normally we hit drive when we want to go into like burst mode or something like that. You hit drive and then you need to scroll down to an option called movie, and that brings you into movie mode. So didn't really like that, but I guess it's not a big issue because people who use this won't really shoot video on it. Yeah, but it is a little bit just strange to me. You know, the amount of space that they have, they could have just included a dedicated switch for video. Right, okay, so right now we're going to night photography, and yesterday I did shoot some night photos in automatic mode. Didn't really work, so today I'm going to try out manual mode and see how it goes. Okay, so to end off this video, I'm just going to give you my review on this camera after using it for a few days. Basically, I like the weight of the camera together with this 45mm f2.8 lens. Is a really nice weighted camera, and with this lens gives it a nice distributed weight as well. Feels really great in the hand, aside from the lack of grip, of course. But when you walk around with this giant camera, you know, you feel like a champion going in. It's absolutely brilliantly weighted and sized camera, you know, if you ask me. Photographs, no doubt about it. If you're in daylight, nice lighting conditions, it will give you the best shallow depth of field together with brilliant color signs coming out from this camera. So that's really nice. I like the LCD screen, the EVF. The shallow depth of field basically is the biggest thing about this camera. It's so good. It's so nice and buttery. Absolutely brilliant shallow depth of field. The autofocusing in video, as you saw, is really, really bad. And also in night photographs, like you saw the photographs, at night you need to be either on a tripod or shooting in manual mode. The autofocusing at night isn't really very good, but the photo qualities do look a lot brighter and nice because of that giant medium format sensor. So pictures, if you do shoot in manual or on a tripod, will come out absolutely great. Battery life is also pretty good, as I mentioned, on this 1230 milliamp battery. But is it worth the price, $6,600 for a 51.4 megapixel? Probably, to me, being slightly more of a videographer, the answer is no. And we do also have something like the Sony A7R4, which can shoot 60 megapixels full frame with extremely good autofocus that comes with video of up to 4K as well. And you have a host of picture profiles available as log 3, as gamut and stuff. So to me, I would rather go with the Sony A7R4 if you're looking to have really high resolution photographs, 60 megapixels on a full frame Sony. I think that would definitely be an overall better package than using this giant medium format camera. So that's all, guys. Hit the like button, leave a comment below on what you think about this camera, hit the subscribe button if you want to watch more videos, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.